It is a big day for me. I finished my medium combat achievements. It was very fun. Uh, I would say that having just gotten back into the game, that wow, this looks fucking awesome too. Um, that I have not enjoyed bossing before. In all my years of playing, I have put it off, and I am actually really enjoying my time. Uh, I learned how to do so much, and I am inspired to do even more. I think before I venture into hard combat achievements, my little endeavor with the Crassian Leviathan has inspired me to learn how to do the elite dungeon bosses before I go even further. I actually thought it was pretty cool, the whole process of getting up to him. Um, it was way better, way more fun than any of the time I spent just dishing out the storing mode for the elite dungeons when I wanted to complete quests. I haven't made too much progress on quests since my last video because I've been focused on bossing, and I only have so much time during the week to do that. So most of my bossing so far has come over the weekend, and I was pretty religious about it this weekend. I got done. I think it was something like 30 achievements this weekend, so I think that was pretty productive. Uh, One thing that really surprised me, which I did earlier this week, was I did Araxor. Uh, I think it was, I guess there's different paths, but the only one I've done so far is the one where you go in the center with the poison pool. And I do have a Reaper to do Araxor or whatever right now, so I'll definitely get on that probably tomorrow, or maybe tonight, because otherwise I'll miss a Reaper assignment. I don't know. But I remember a long time ago, and basically for this entire span of my RuneScape career, I have been putting off doing Araxor because I thought it was extremely difficult and that I wouldn't be able to do it. I could not be more wrong. That boss is not hard at all. I don't know why I put it off so long. It just goes to show you how nice it is to like rip the band-aid off something and just like go and fucking get shit done. It feels good. It feels good. Uh, I have played this game for a long time, and honestly, leveling up my skills and getting a max cape, I was not as excited about maxing as I was about completing my medium and even the easy combat achievements. Uh, Maxing just kind of felt like a necessary evil, I guess. The way that I kind of I've made quite a few RuneScape accounts, and I always try to incorporate some degree of like ripping off a band-aid in the way that I play. Um, this is I had like I said, I've had quite a few accounts. Um, Most of them are banned because when I was younger, I really enjoyed botting for some reason. But the one prior to this account, which is banned for botting, the first thing I did was I got 99 agility, and and then I just felt like ripping off that band-aid. Uh, Probably the worst skill in the game, agility, is a good way to start off an account. You get the worst one out of the way right now. There's a purple die here. Forgot about that. I think it's 4,000 gold now. Um, Ripping off that band-aid is pretty good because it gives you quite a bit of run energy to get around the game in, and it makes it so you don't have to think about it anymore. I've got a gripe with agility for sure. Agility is, like I said, the worst skill in the game because there's no, like, outside um, of accessing shortcuts and uh, having run energy restoration. What is the point of the skill? Fucking nothing. Training the skill sucks. It sucks so bad that they introduced a pay to win method of training the skill in Silverhawk boots, which I I'm always pretty adamant about training a skill naturally, right? Like the way that gameplay is there to do it. I don't sit there and lamp skills. I never did any of that. I never really wanted to use any back alley method of leveling up my skills. Like if I've got a gathering skill, I don't sit there and do like some super um, efficient, daily to get my skills up. I just go on mine rocks. I chop trees, right? I don't do that shit. But with agility, I trained it to 99 on this account for the first 99. And I did that because I wanted to get it out of the way, but I did it the right way, right? And with Treasure Hunter being removed, uh, I don't know I don't know what they're going to do with the skill. And I did have a couple of ideas for it, or I just have one idea for it. It should just be trained naturally as if you have Silverhawks on. The only reason I'm using Silverhawks now, because like I said, it goes against everything that I believe in, is I refuse to train this skill all the way to level 120, like normally. Like that is just a waste of my fucking time. And if they make agility a 120 skill because they're fucking crazy, I don't want any part of that. That's just not. I don't. I don't want to sit there and do agility laps all the way to 120. That fucking sucks. So a long time ago, I bought enough Silverhawk feathers, and over time, I have just been putting all my stars and lamps into agility, and now I'm at a point where I don't need to do that anymore. I was there like a long time ago where I didn't need to put anything else in agility, and I had enough Silverhawks to take care of the job. I'll have enough Silverhawks left over to sell for a little chunk of change. I'm not sure what their solution is going to be, but the way that I would make the skill work nowadays is kind of like Constitution, where you just walk around the game and you just naturally level up your agility. It's like a passively trained skill because, like I said, it sucks to train. There is, uh, fuck man, roaming around an agility course. At least when you train rune crafting, right, you're getting something out of it. There is feedback. Uh, you may want to call it instant gratification. I call it a healthy relationship, right? You need to, when you do something in this game, you should get something back out of it. And pulling your fucking teeth out, walking around an agility course for hours and hours and hours is not a healthy relationship. I think that's a lot of give and no take. And, there's got to be a healthy balance to that, as with any relationship, right? The compromises for leveling agility are abysmal. So that's how I would change up agility, right? But anytime, like I said, when I make a new account, I would do the same thing today. I would get 99 agility first, and then the next thing I would get is uh, a quest point cape. Because like the quest point cape will tell you how to level your skills. And it doesn't matter the order that you accomplish this in. You just need to level up, or you just need to level up your skills to complete quests, and then you'll have a very good account. I've said this before, that the key to a good account are quests. So if you do 99 agility, you don't need to like don't do some like old school shit, old school RuneScape shit where you go to like you make a new Iron Man and you go to uh the fucking fire making thing and in Zaya, right? You don't do that, right? You don't literally like sandpaper your dick, right? You just train it over time as you're working through quests. You get up to level 99, get your first 99 as 99 agility, then you never have to think about it again. That is what I would do. Um, and I wish that I earlier on realized that ripping the band-aid off of bossing, much like how I do with agility and quest point capes, once you get that band-aid ripped off, you're good. Like I am actually participating in mid-game bossing right now. Like I just kind of wung it on the Rex the dinosaur reskins of the Dagonoth Kings, which are way better. Fuck the Dagonoth Kings. That is, I hate doing dags. I I I don't typically re-roll my Reaper tasks, but I'm at a point now where if I get a Dagonoth Reaper task, unless there's some combat achievement I don't know about yet that I haven't done yet, fuck dags. I'm never going back. That shit is ass. But I ripped the bandit off, and I've gotten medium combat achievements done, and I feel pretty comfortable and confident that I can go a little bit further, and that feels really good, and I'm happy about that. You know what else sucks though? Like other than agility, I think the second worst skill in the game right now is summoning. Out of agility, the second worst skill in the game is summoning because summoning had so much effort put into it back in the day, right? They did all this work making all these creatures for us to summon, and even back then when it was released, right? People were still rolling around with rune minotaurs and steel titans, bunyips, unicorns, and pack yaks, right? War tortoises, that was it. But there are so many things in the skill, and I think that it could be drastically overhauled into some sort of like Pokemon system, right? Kind of like how in Dungeons and Dragons, um, you have, or like any tabletop role playing game, you have what are called retainers, right? They're little minion dudes that you get, like, you can go and hire a retainer, a squire, and he's just like a shitty player character. He's not a player character, but he's just this shitty little dude, comes with you on adventures and is a extra source of DPS, and he's always around. So I think that summoning could benefit with an overhaul of having it not be summoning. I think that the skill should be more like summon this creature and level it up like a Pokemon. Take it on your adventures with you. It'll always be around with you like a retainer, right? You got to take care of it. You probably got to feed it a little bit. Not saying like feed it like a Tamagotchi. I'm not talking about that shit. We got Tamagotchis with the fucking cats and dogs and shit, and that's boring as fuck. I'm talking like feed it in combat, right? You obviously you'll have to heal it, but of course we have this beautiful uh, magic's ability. What is it called? The Prism of Restoration. There you go, right? You can keep it healthy in combat, but you got to keep an eye on him. I think that the skill would benefit greatly from that because nowadays, what are people using? They stopped using Steel Titans, right, and Rune Minotaurs. And then we progressed over to Nihils, which were only like four of them, and I think only two were used. Don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure, But yeah, that's not very interesting. We've got so many of these fucking dudes to play around with. In fact, I was looking through the skill and I found one that I haven't seen in years. And I wanted to show him off because uh, I guarantee you that a lot of you that are watching this have never heard of this fucking thing. I introduced to you the pile of shit. Yeah, that's a compost mound. I guarantee you that a lot of you didn't even know this fucker existed. All this guy does is make compost for you occasionally, like randomly, and if you use a scroll, he'll do it, right? The compost mound. It's a smelly pile of shit. I think that a lot of the stuff inside of summoning is wasted on that it gets like look how many summons we have. And it's all it basically the only shit that gets used starts out here nowadays because we used to do like I said we progressed off of Nihils or we progressed off of Titan Titans and Minotaurs and we went to Nihils and now we have these blood contracts, right? And so now we use these quite a bit and they got really good perks, much better than all the previous shit, right? So I think that summoning uh doesn't need like a remaster. It needs a complete rework. Look at this fucking thing. No one has ever thought about the compost mound past like what this skill came out in 2007, 2008, probably 2008. No one's thought about the compost mound since then. Look at him. He's kind of cute, right? Now imagine he gets a visual overhaul. You can turn him into a Pokemon retainer like dude, right? He levels up with you, right? And you get to walk around with a pile of shit. I think that'd be pretty cool, personally. I think that would be pretty damn cool. He just generated super compost for me. Wow. I might be making money on this little ramble here. So I found out because I didn't in the last video didn't really like I didn't really catch on that that all of the combat styles are getting an overhaul in February. That was a surprise to me. I did not realize that. I thought that we were going to piece them out and do one at a time. Nope. All of them are getting overhauled this February, and I guess we're only beta testing uh, ranged. So that's interesting. I wonder how that's going to go. Uh, I didn't quite hear that part properly. So I was sat down yesterday and I thought around for a little bit. I thought, I looked at my cash stack, I looked at my gear, and I looked at like, all right, well, I have necromancy, right? And it's my setup for necromancy is pretty good. I think I'm good. I can stop. The only upgrade I'd really make is if that new mask, the death mask or whatever it's called, drops in price. I'll probably buy that eventually because it's not that big of an upgrade, but it's pretty it's pricey. It's like 700 mil for not very much. You don't even get stats off of it. It's I don't know. But I wanted to have at least a secondary style that I could use. And historically, I have used like before necromancy, I basically used mage. But before then, I used ranged. So I went maybe like this was just before COVID. I want to say maybe 2018, the summer of 2018, I think. I had a moment where I don't know, I had a lot going on in my life at that point, and I decided it would be a good idea to quit RuneScape completely. So I gave away all my shit and I left for the summer. And then I came back in the fall and I realized I had nothing. And it had been a very long time since I had nothing. And I didn't really know where to start. So my buddy, Papa Roach was his username. I was talking to him about it and he was like, well, how about this? I'll give you a loan. I will loan you a noxious longbow. And you're going to have to pay me back for it. But I want you to take this noxious longbow, pay me back, but you also have to come and do next with me. And I'd never done next before in my life at that point. Never. Wow, they kind of like upgraded the Phoenix layer over here. I don't actually remember how to do that mini game. Uh, he said to me that I had to go do next with him, and the most bossing I'd ever done at that point was probably Vindicta, right? So I was like, okay. So I took that noxious longbow and I went uh, to next with him, and I kind of learned how to do next in a duo, of course. I don't think I've ever done a solo next run, but I've done duos quite a bit. Uh, and eventually I paid him back, and I kept that bow. That bow is right here. This is the same noxious longbow that I have had since then that Papa Roach gave me, and I've kept it around. I don't use it much anymore, but I figure that if my account ever gets hacked, I've got so much other stuff now that if someone wanted to clean me out, they would probably leave behind the bow. There's a lot of shit, right? There's a lot of good shit. So at least I'd have the bow to help me rebuild. And that's why I keep it around. Not only just to remind me of that generosity, but also in case shit hits the fan. Um, and I'll never get rid of it. I'll upgrade it. I'll upgrade from it. Like I use Ascension crossbows now. I'm sure there's a lot better stuff I can use, but I don't use range much. And after I got enough GP with that bow, I stopped using range altogether because I just didn't really see it. I just wasn't really interested in the skill, in the combat style. I made my way toward mage, and I stuck with mage for a very, very long time because I loved the visuals of it. Um, and eventually, I found my way into some seismics. Like this is just when COVID started, right? So I got my seismics. I'm sitting at home, and I'm kind of using them a bit. There are a lot actually. I'm basically just doing Slayer with them. And occasional bossing, easier stuff if I get the Reaper assignment for it. I would literally, if I had a bunch of hard Reapers or Reapers that I didn't know how to do, that I knew weren't easy, that I knew were as hard or harder than a Raxor, I would just skip it. Even if it meant going all the way down to get no rewards for it, I'd fucking. It's fucking stupid. But I would do that. And during COVID, a buddy of mine who I won't name, he randomly messaged me one day, and he basically gave me a big ass goodbye, and said he was gonna kill himself. So he didn't live in my country, and I didn't have a way to contact people that I knew could help him. At least I thought. And then after a couple seconds of reading that, I remembered that most countries have a military police. So he was in the military, and I called the military police. I didn't know where he lived in the country, but I called the military police and I basically told them what was going on. I told them that I was from America and that I wanted and that I needed them to bust in his door, basically. Uh, and they did. They fucking saved his life. They almost didn't actually. There were two like officers that went to the barrack or whatever he was staying at, and they knocked on the door, didn't hear an answer, and decided to. Wow, that's pretty cool. Although this looks like a set piece, that might be something. Oh, it's a quest. I have not touched that quest yet. Uh, they had almost just fucking vanished. What is that? I wonder what that is. That's a big old boat. Pirates Cove. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember the Pirates Cove at all. I'll have to make my way over there at some point because I don't. That's interesting. Um, and they they eventually busted in the door and saved him. He swallowed a shit ton of pills and was kind of unresponsive. But when he came back, like this was in the middle of COVID, right? He gave me these: a wand of appraisal and an Imperium core. They were both his, and just as a thank you for doing my best, I guess. And I've heard that these aren't the best anymore, or they're not very good, and I doubt that. I'm sure that's just a tryhard PVMer that's spouting out his ass and doesn't understand how this game works. Like these these don't just completely lose value, or they don't lose their ability to do damage. Right? They're still good. So I'll always keep these weapons as much as I can. It would especially be easier now that the wand of this wand and Imperium core are worth nothing. But back during COVID, that was like $4 that he handed to me. And as I was thinking about what my secondary combat style, I realized that I had a lot of time in Magic, and I had a lot of love for Magic too. So I thought that that would be my secondary combat style out of Necromancy. Because I'm sure that when it releases, when this combat overhaul releases, it's not going to be pretty, right? It's probably going to be a little jank. It's not going to be quite right. It's going to take some tuning, right? Jagex is the thing with game development, right? You can sit there and have people play test shit for hours, hundreds of hours before you drop it to live and let people try it. Within the first 30 minutes of a change that you play tested goes live, it will have more hours of playtesting completed than you will have ever been able to do privately at your studio. There's gonna be some cattywampousness to it when all these combat styles come out. But I know that Melee hasn't been a very fun combat style to me, or very visually interesting. And I know that ranged is a very expensive combat style to get into, especially so with the upcoming ammo changes. So I felt that mage is going to be my go-to, and I think that that's a pretty safe choice. That being said, I did drop some money, right? I've got appraisal, I've got an Imperium core, but I know that there is something better. So I did buy the tier 95s, whatever they're called here. Uh, they are the Ode to Deceit and Roar of Awakening. I have enough. Like if I sold some stuff, I'd have enough spare cash around to get a Fractured Staff of Armadyl. But it's so expensive compared to these two that I am not comfortable enough in my own PVMing ability to drop 2 billion GP on um, a staff that I will not be able to use at its full potential. The When I see people walking around with a fractured staff of Armadyl, they're usually walking around in dyed armor, a dyed staff, and they're using full manual. I like my necromancy setup. Like it basically looks like this, right? I've got my basics and my summons on my uh, revolution, and then I'm manual casting these thresholds and stuff. And I did end up getting my Zuck cape for necromancy. I actually got the igneous stone first try, so that was pretty cool. So I am able to do like a small living death rotation with death skulls. I can get 2 death skulls off with that little adren pot trick. I'm not a high enough archaeology level, or I don't quite know how to increase my my relic power capacity, so I can't get the last perk you need. I think it was like continuity or something like that in order to do the 3 death skulls, but I can do 2 now, so that's pretty cool. Uh, I've lost my train of thought. I'll just keep going anyway. So I figured that I would not be able to utilize a staff of Arundel to its fullest, and I did hear that like dual wielding is not as much DPS as two handing, which is fine. I think I don't think I'm at a stage where I need to really concern myself with that. So I bought those, and I was looking at armor, right? So I have a pretty nicely perked out kit of like these are the perks on these are okay. I think they were good for the time. I think offhands have a different perk setup now. Uh, um, my necromancy setup has the best in slot advanced perks for according to the wiki. So I'm sure that this has probably changed, but for the time this was good, and this does me good enough now. Uh, but I'm using Virtus, right? And I thought that if I am looking to get into some slightly more advanced bossing, like I would really enjoy um, completing the Reaper achievement here, especially because you get all of these passive bonuses. I think that'd be really cool. If I wanted to get into something like Telos, or if I wanted to do Zamorak, I don't know what the gate of Elidinius is. I've never done the Magister, um, and I've never done that. Solak will be interesting to do. I'll have to figure that out. And a Masket as well. I know that's a brand new one. Never done Raksha. Also never done Telos. I should probably have some kind of tank gear. Now, I know that there is a new set of Masterwork magic armor that is basically like the passive effect on it is just, excuse me, I'm yawning. The passive effect on it is basically just the Masterwork uh, plate mail for melee. I wanted something a little more interesting, and I didn't want to have to go and get 110 crafting to get it. I don't know if you can buy Masterwork magic armor, but I do have the opinion that Masterwork armor should be crafted by hand. I crafted my Masterwork melee armor by hand. I custom fit it and trimmed it and everything. I bought the trims. I didn't kill the bosses for that. So I looked at the price of Crypt Bloom, and Crypt Bloom was pretty new when last time I looked at it, and I didn't realize that Crypt Bloom was so cheap now. Um, so I bought Crypt Bloom. I bought a full set of Crypt Bloom along with my tier 95 staff and focus. So I think that will set me up for a very successful adventure into uh, the next tier of PVM. I probably won't break it out until I see what the magic changes are because I'm pretty attached to necromancy as is because of how easy it is to use, and I'd like to have a similar setup when I go and venture into magic. And I've bought quite a bit of runes for uh, casting. Um, what is the spell called? Animate Dead. This is a pretty expensive spell to cast, and it's going to be even more expensive once we have the combat changes because ammo will be properly used. That's going to be a little scary. This is a very expensive spell to cast. So I'll probably still do Slayer with Necromancy. A buddy of mine mentioned that I should get 120 Slayer with Necromancy, and I think I'm going to do that. So Necromancy will definitely be my Slayer combat style. But I also thought, all right, I'm spending this money to have a pretty decent mage setup that will set me up for the future. Obviously, it's not power armor, but it is the tankiness is more appealing to me because I'm not uh, very good at bossing yet, and I do struggle sometimes. Even some of these medium achievements, the Legion achievements that I had to do, like the 10 Legion kills and whatnot, that was pretty interesting. I was getting DPS down pretty quickly. Uh, I do think that I do know that I'll have to go back and I'll try and learn them properly. I just went to this one guy that on the guide I was using just basically told me to um, just stand in one spot and let off all your abilities. So that's what I did. And I basically had to bank after every single kill and use up a key. By the way, those keys are really expensive. So I farmed them out, killing Ascension creatures for the first time. Way easier than I thought they were going to be. Another Band-Aid rippy offy moment. So I had that, and I was like, well, I should probably invest in some ability codexes because if these combat styles are going to get upgraded, I should probably have access to um, multiple, like whatever I'm missing, whatever is seemingly major from what I've heard. So for magic, I bought the Magma Tempest uh, ability codex. For melee, I bought the Chaos Roar uh, uh, codex, and for range, I finally bought uh, Greater Ricochet. Uh, and I don't know if that's going to bite me in the ass if they decide to get rid of those abilities. I am curious how they will, if they do decide to get rid of abilities, how they will reimburse players or upgrade other abilities. So I got those, which was pretty costly. I had to sell. I have quite a I have a good amount of GP. I had a good amount of GP laying around. I still have a decent amount, but what I would do in the past is I would see my custom interface always fucks up like that. I would uh, I would do Slayer and I just keep the drops in my bank until I needed money. So I sold quite a bit of stuff, and I managed to afford all of that I said I wanted, um, which is pretty cool. I also plan on uh, grabbing up all the skilling uh, bonus items, like the offhand skilling items. I've seen that there's like a new ring for thieving. I really enjoy skilling in this game, so I like to have, especially that I kind of live in abundance now, GP wise. Like I'm never really quite hurt for cash, and if I am, I always have a way out Uh, I like to keep my skilling gear pretty up to date, so I plan on dropping a bit of cash on that here within the next couple days, getting all those other offhands I don't have. Something that I haven't quite said yet was back in about 2022, I actually stopped playing completely. Oh no, I did mention that before. Uh, so there's quite a bit of content that I haven't quite seen yet. Like this area, holy shit, man. They prettied up this joint. I've seen a little bit when I would get a pack, or not a pack, a mammoth task, a mammoth task. General Khazard, still walking around. This looks pretty cool. Um, yeah, so those skilling offhands and everything will be pretty cool to get. I have been really enjoying my time back. I'm really curious to see what the combat overhaul is going to do. Uh, I'm I've heard that magic is very stun oriented. I didn't know this because I'm a revolution user, right? So, they were talking. I was watching a video, kind of recapping the ranged combat beta, and he was mentioning that they were kind of going in on ranged being this like multi-hit combo like combat style, right? And then he also mentioned that uh, they were leaving room or the option open to add kind of a sub style of like a sniper. And that clicked off in my head, and I was like, holy shit, we're getting classes in RuneScape. That's what we're getting. We are getting classes. This shit, like, they're going to. Oh wow, they kind of prettied up this place a little bit. I I feel like these buildings are old though, but they did pretty up this area a bit. I like the look of this now. This looks nice. I've always been a big fan of the Fremennik area. So we're gonna get classes in RuneScape, kind of officially. So that's how they're going to diversify the combat system, right? You'll have like, a guy who's being a sniper and a guy who's, oh, let's go see what's going on with the Pirates Cove. Yeah, let's do that. Uh which makes me very interested to see how they're going to do the combat styles. Now for melee especially, I have always been. What the fuck is this? Oh, this area is cool. This area is very cool. Just some moss giants and pirates. Oh, this is neat. I like this. I like this a lot. This is really cool. Uh, Lunar Isle got updated? Know where we're going next. So I have always wanted melee combat to support in a more official way. Oh, I can go on the boat. Uh, support in a more official way having a sword and shield, because like my idea of a heroic oh, this must be part of like, I must have done this before, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Um oh, whoa. Okay. My idea of kind of like the heroic melee archetype in RuneScape has always been sword and shield, right? Because when I was a kid, um, we didn't have dual wields, right? We had two hands, we had sword and shield, right? I would love to see a sword and shield uh, style, like combat support in this game. I think that would be very, very cool to see. And if they're adding subclasses, I think that would be really cool. Much like how Lunar Isle looks. Wow, man. Look at this place. This looks amazing. But I also wonder if, you know, I remember they wanted to diversify the. I remember they wanted to diversify, like, because we have like 15 million different weapon types, especially with melee. I would love to see them add, like, hey, this boss is weak to maces, and this boss is weak to this. Or have these different weapon types have specific bonuses to them. Because I would really love to see flails in the game. Flails being, you know, especially good for dispatching undead. I think that that would be very cool. Flails are my favorite, like, fantasy weapon. I think they're pretty damn cool. We got 1 minute left before we lose our pile of shit. That's gonna be a sad day. But what's making up for it is that Lunar Isle looks fucking awesome. I wish that they updated the NPCs at the same time. That's a little disappointing. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what comes of those combat styles. There's a beacon here. Huh. Alright. Man, I wish we could have enchanted brooms in real life. That's my least favorite thing. Is fucking cleaning. Gotta do it every week, but it's fucking annoying. Wow, this place looks awesome. I am also interested to see if they're going to start, how they're going to start rolling out updates to, like, the looks of armors, because there are some armor sets, right, that have had upgraded variants. Like, if I go into the wardrobe right now, right, I scroll over, and we can see that we clearly have a model for updated Torva, right? Like, if you just make this normal Torva colors and push it to the live game, we've got an updated model for Torva. And I found out about this one recently. If I scroll over, try and find it. Where are you at? Oop, Pernus. Look at this. That's also updated Pernix. Why are we not pushing that out onto the armor styles, or on those armors, and leaving them in their rotten old ass state? I think that's ridiculous. And we need. Oh, that's funny. I like that. It doesn't make any sense how this is fucking floating here. Oh, yeah, no. I wish there's. Dude, that's hilarious. I love that. That's fucking awesome. Why are we not doing that? That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sure that they could crank out, because all these motherfuckers here are using the exact same dress except for old Pauline here. Why are we not doing that when we upgrade these areas? Why are we not also doing modeling for their armors and adding them to the game? Because some of these are already done, and they just need a recolor or something. Oh shit. What do you want, bro? You fucking rolling up on me? I'll fuck you up, bitch. I'll give you the fucking what for, man. You getting murked by a tier 1 axe. Damn, bro, you dog shit. Anyway. I wish that, that we put a little bit more effort into that. I don't know if they plan on rolling it out all at once, but these two, I feel like it's just some robes. And you don't have to really like change much design wise. You can just keep it as is. They don't need to be super complex or detailed. They just need to look like they weren't made in 2007. Same with these squaws here. I know nobody interacts with these, but you went through and we updated the environment here, but we didn't upgrade the model for these guys. There's only a handful of them, right? You got sword and shield, and you got sword and sword. So I think that would be pretty easy. Frozen. Bullshit, I'm frozen. Let's go down here. I wonder what the mine looks like. Yep, we're still back in 2007. So, or I guess that's graphics more of like 2011, maybe. Like, not 11. Is it 2008 that we had the RuneScape HD? I don't remember. This place does look pretty cool, though. I wonder what other substyles or subclasses, I should say, a combat system could have. What kind of unique weapons and problems, more specifically, what unique problems could a different subclass have? Or not have, solve, right? I wonder. Like maybe there's a magic subclass specifically for stunning. Or maybe there's a, can I go in here without like a talisman? Yeah, okay. Oh no, you don't go inside the altar, that's right. Um, I wonder, like, okay, you have that, and then what? Maybe you have like a damage focused one? Or maybe you have like a support one? I don't know. I think that there's a lot of potential there that they're definitely doing a good job of leaving the door open on because I would have never thought we were doing subclasses. I would have never thought it. And it is a very interesting idea. What is that place? That also looks like it's been updated. Or maybe it's new. Um, yeah. I'm really interested to see what comes of all this. I'm very happy with my progress in PVMing. I'm very happy overall with how my return to RuneScape has been, and I am very happy that I finally have this back as a hobby. It's really nice. For the past couple years, uh, I haven't done a whole lot of gaming. Um, I've made listening to music a pretty major hobby of mine. Uh, I had an ex-girlfriend who was also really into music, and she definitely brought that out more in me. I was already into music before, but her and I really got along when it came to listening to music. So it's been really nice having a bit more to do on the computer again. Because, like I said, video games have been very stale for me, and and for some reason, I don't know why. I do know why. RuneScape has been a very easy hobby to keep fun because of the way that I play, I think. I don't remember what Water Breath Isle is. And, well, Waterbirth Isle isn't updated, I can tell you that much right now. And the way I play is that I do whatever I want to do when I log in, and I only log in when I want to play. So it makes it very easy to have a good time. I don't remember these quests very much. That was probably one of the islands I was looking at. Indeed, it was. Yep, this was the island I was looking at. This place looks pretty cool. Cave entrance. Seems like it's mostly just environment here, so let's go in the cave. This must have something to do with V, and I don't quite remember that quest much. I was probably very high at the time that I did it, but I can tell you that the inside here has not been updated. A shrine to V. You can remember at it. Remember. What will I be remembering? The arrival of V? These must be cutscenes. Um, yeah, I'm really enjoying coming back. Uh, I don't know if I'll make another one of these, but I know that a few hundred people or something like that had watched the first one, and I figured I felt pretty accomplished today, so I would make another one. I hope you all have a nice night and have fun scaping.